What's up, fellow internet denizens? We're going to do something a little different today. When I was in college, I majored in linguistics, and one professor had us talk about something cool we noticed about other people's speech. Every so often, I still find something that makes me wish that I were back in her class so I could present it and see how her neurons leak out of her ears at the sheer slop people say now. One example of this would be the Wikipedia page on Gen Z slang. I decided to read a couple of entries, and it kinda made me feel both really old and really weird, partially because I don't use TikTok and partially because of the dry Wikipedia writing style. It is very clinical. I had a good laugh, and I hope you will too. I will be grading these terms from A to F based on how well Wikipedia describes them and how often I use them. Enjoy! Alright, so the opening paragraphs are pretty standard Wikipedia fare, and I like how it highlights how a lot of Gen Z slang comes from AAVE and drag slang. It's kinda cool seeing how the internet has brought so many different cultures together. Let's go down and look at some of the words now. AF, or ASF, shortened version of the intensifier as fuck. Yeah, that's adequate. B, basic, pertaining to those who prefer mainstream products, trends, and music, derived from the term basic bitch. Accurate definition, and I use this every so often. However, why are there 3 citations? C, bestie, short for best friend. Sometimes used jokingly for someone the speaker or writer has no relationship with. I have only ever heard it used condescendingly. Maybe that's just me though. C, bop, a derogatory term, usually for females, suggesting excessive flirtatiousness or promiscuity. This term could also be used to describe exceptionally good song. I have never heard the first one at all. Might start using that one, but probably runs the risk of me sounding out of touch. B, brain rot, the state of losing touch with the real world as a result of consuming hyper-stimulating or chronically online content, and the constant use of seemingly meaningless buzzwords, skibbity, phantom tax, riz, and so on, derived from the idea that one's brain would rot from consuming too much stimulating content. This list in a nutshell. There are 3 citations here again, when there's already an article you can click on. Why do you need this many citations? Otherwise, A, pussy. I'm not reading that. Alright, there's a link to ussy here. Let's check this out and oh no. Pazzussy? Really? Donut hussy? No, that's donussy, you fucking dipshits! Ugh, F. Dab. A dance move, used as a gesture of triumph. So when I initially was reading this list, I laughed aloud and said, hey, that's a millennial word, what's it doing here? To which my husband replied, it's a Zoomer word, you are just old. And I aged 26 more years. Now that I think of it, who under the age of 23 says dab now? C for confusion, I guess? Dead. Humorous to such an extent as to kill you. Laughter and death have been associated since ancient Greece, where it is held that Zeuxis died from laughing at a portrait of an ugly woman he was painting. I use this sometimes, but why the random Greek myth? I don't mind it, because I love Greek myths, but why? C. Delusionship. A relationship in which someone holds unrealistic or overly idealistic beliefs. A person who holds such beliefs is called a delulu. 3 more citations, this time for a word I have never heard of. The definition makes sense though, but I just haven't heard anyone use it around me. Also, I don't think delulu is a noun. D. Flop, opposite of bop. Never heard this one, but it makes sense. Actually, I think I might have heard the term flop era, but that's probably a little different. I only ever use flop to refer to when my kitty is being all roly-poly. C, because I agree with Wikipedia here and I need a citation. Girl boss. A female entrepreneur who succeeds in a male-dominated business world. An empowered woman, popularized in 2014 by Sophia Amoruso's autobiography #girlboss. I have only ever seen MLM shills call themselves this, unironically. Any other time has been purely for irony's sake. D. Glizzy, a hot dog, popularized in 2020, possibly from the Washington metropolitan area, and possibly originating from the slang term glizzy for a Glock handgun, approximately the same length as a hot dog. 4 citations. I didn't know the etymology here, but I think that's kinda cool. I could see them being the same size. I fucking hate this word though. It just feels so oily. F. Idgaf.
Quidgibo.
An acronym for I just burst out laughing. 2 citations. Never seen this before. Doesn't deserve 2 citations or an IPA transcript. F. Karen. Pejorative term for an obnoxious, angry, or entitled white woman. Again, 4 citations for an entry with an article you can click on. 100% agree though. I hate Karens. B. Looks maxing. An attempt, often pseudoscientific, to maximize physical attractiveness. All you need to know here is that the article linked contains references to bone mashing. I think it goes without saying that people who do this are potentially experiencing body dysmorphia and they need serious help. If you know a looks maxer, please get them help. F for fucked up. Mew, a pseudoscientific method to restructure one's jawline by pressing their tongue to the roof of their mouth, coined by controversial British dentist John Mew and his son Mike. The term became popular in the late 2010s and on TikTok. Speaking of looks maxing, I have been mewing since around 2009 unintentionally. I am very self-conscious about the roundness of my face, and around the time I was 11, I had decided to start sucking my tongue and cheeks in to add definition to my jaw, and I don't know if I can switch that off now. I don't think this helped my facial structure permanently change because my face still looks disgustingly round when I smile, but c'est la vie. C. Mog. To look significantly more attractive than someone or something, causing them to appear more inferior in comparison. Derived from amog, or alpha male of the group. I have only ever heard this as a version of dunking on someone, not in the attractiveness sense, but in a verbal sense. C for confusion. Netflix and chill. To watch Netflix with a romantic prospect, often with the expectation of sexual activity. No one uses this anymore. I think a confused senator tried to use this at one point and that killed it. F. Riz. One's charm and seduction skills derived from charisma. I hate the fact that this stemmed from the word charisma. F. Salty. Used to describe someone who is behaving or expressing themselves with a resentful, bitter, or irritated manner. Originally referred to racy or vulgar sailors. Fun fact! The reason we don't put our elbows on the table is because people wanted to discriminate against sailors who would do so to keep their plates from sliding away on rough seas. Kinda cool how our culture uses artifacts from this phase of history. A, because I learned something. Simp. Sycophancy. Being overly affectionate in pursuit of a sexual relationship. Wrong. A simp is someone who watches my channel. Otherwise B. Visco girl. A stereotypical white girl who often takes trendy and basic pictures of herself to later edit and post online, named after Visco, a photo app released in 2011. The term originated in 2018 and was popularized in 2019 on social media platforms such as TikTok, where it became a trendy internet aesthetic. It fell out of popularity in late 2019. I knew a dozen of these in college, and they were so cliquey. I could never get anything out of them aside from a, hey, what was the homework? D. It's irrelevant, isn't even really slang anymore, it's more of an artifact. Well, fellow internet denizens, I've been yapping for a while, and now I must yeet. I have been Alien Daydreamer, and I am out. Bye!